employee-owned company. We are a staffing company, of course. We do full-service solutions. We have many different divisions. I represent the manufacturing distribution division. I'm an account manager for one of our clients here in Devens, and we do have other locations in Clinton, Lancaster as well that we're currently hiring for. Many of our companies are med device manufacturing clients, so that's our primary market that we service. So yeah, it's a little bit about us. I'm not sure if you need me to go into something else, Anthony.
No, I'll chop it up. You brought up some very good points. So Eastridge being a staffing agency, could you talk about how some employers kind of use the staffing agencies as kind of their gatekeepers? Can you talk about that process for those people who aren't quite sure how staffing agencies are such a big part of manufacturing in this region?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, a lot of our clients, use us as you said, as a gateway solution, you could say. All of our positions are what we call attempt to hire roles, and they use us as kind of like the probation period. Because they have such high volume positions right now. There's so many openings, and they can't recruit for all these themselves, and so that they outsource it to us. And of course, they want to make sure that whoever we bring in is a good employee, and they want to make sure that that employee is reliable, is a good worker. So after usually it's 3-4 months with our different clients in different locations. After that period or probation period, you could say, they will bring you on board permanently with them. And again, it's just to vet you guys and ensure that they're making a good investment, because once you are on board with them, of course, all the benefits that they provide to their permanent employees will kick into you guys. It's expensive to hire somebody, and there's a lot of costs in the back, and that's another reason why they would use us initially, to make sure that they hire good people.
Thank you. Several weeks ago, I was actually at your Marlboro office location, and on the walls you had all your core values, and I really was impressed by the things that matter to you. Could you just, for those people who might not know, what are some of the things that are important to you as a company and as an agency from your core values?
Yeah, so we thrive on, as far as our core values, some of them is creativity, opportunity through work, hence what we provide to our employees. And kind of jumping into that a little bit, at least with us and our clients, you don't have to have experience. So we have a program where we do some we call assessment and evaluations to qualify you for these positions that do require experience. And through that program, you're able to get your foot in the door with our clients. Generally, they want experience, but through our vetted assessment program, they will consider you all if you don't have that experience. We have people from different backgrounds that, food service, construction, you name it, that are interested, that want to get into med tech, medical device assembly, that go through us. So a big part is offering opportunity to our employees. Of course, also integrity is another one of our big core values. We want to ensure that we place you where it's going to work best for yourself and the client. So if there's a position that we feel you'd be better fit for, we will certainly, let you know. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're doing the best for, of course, our client, but also for our employees. Because at the end of the day, it's a relationship. It has to work both ways. Otherwise, it's not going to work out, and it's a waste of time for all parties, and we don't want that. So we strive on being honest and place our honest feedback on where we feel you work best. And of course, we expect that from our employees as well, as it is, of course, one of our big core values.
Awesome. And from seeing firsthand and knowing some of the people that have worked through your agency, I do know that those values aren't just talk, but they're actually put into practice. Our next question would be for those people who their work needs to matter to them. They need to feel like they're contributing to something that's greater than them. Earlier, you said lots of your employment partners are medical device companies or work in the medical field. Without getting into maybe too much, can you talk about what does that mean? What do you mean medical devices? Because at this time of COVID, I do know that those people who are making medical devices are really contributing to the betterment of society as a whole.
Yeah, that's true. So just in a kind of big overview, medical devices, kind of spreading it out to our clients, that could be injection molding components for insulin pens, also surgical instruments, that is not only plastic, but also other composite materials or other materials as well. Ventilators, they make ventilators as well. And one of our bigger clients right now is a big part of the COVID-19. They're making high volumes of components for COVID-19 test kits. So, and actually pretty much all of our clients are in that effort right now because there's a big need. So you definitely be making an impact in today's situation, helping with manufacturing these components. Is why we have quite a lot of positions open because of that too.
Great. So with those positions that are open, do you know any of like the job titles of those positions? I know that they're posted on our main page that the people just, linked from there to here, but what are some of those positions that would be key and critical that we're trying to fill today or over the next week or two?
Yeah, so some of the positions are what we call, and again, there's the different locations and inspector assemblers, also general assemblers, machine operators as well, and it's plastic operators, but you can think of it as machine operators also. Again, a lot of it is plastic injection molding for the most part, but some of the positions that we have right now that we have big needs for, and I'm not sure if you want me to go into too much detail on the job descriptions, unless
In a few minutes, we're going to have questions from the rest of the participants. So maybe they might have some of those very specific questions. But we'll put that on the back table, back stove, and then we'll see what the participants ask in a few minutes. But going with that, you said that there's lots of needs, lots of opportunities. What is the kind of like the lead time from a person who applies to when they find out whether or not they'll get brought in for an interview or a job or something like that?
It's fairly with our clients, because of the nature of the relationship we have with them. Nearly all the positions we have right now are basically immediate needs. So in essence, the process will look like as, if you apply with us, we'll go through a phone interview with yourself just to make sure that it's a good match. And we'll go through the testing process. If you don't have that experience, that could be all done in one day. And if all is well, then we'll go through the application process, the batch. So it could be anywhere. You can start as soon as 2-3 days from when you initially apply with us. We move fairly quickly. And if there is an interview that is required, the interview is usually scheduled within a day or two. So you could extend it a few more days after that, but it's fairly quick to get into work with our clients.
Thank you. Just a few more questions, and we're going to open up to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So in engaging with certain people, and I hear some of the pushback for reasons why people don't want to engage with, let's say, temp agencies or so. Do you have any success stories or kind of the benefits of going through a temp agency, especially your agency? Why? I want to hear some success stories from this.
So yeah, we have again a lot of the employees we have. Obviously, we target different areas. You don't have to have experience, but some success stories we had. For example, we had somebody who, you know, came from food industry, no prior manufacturing experience, and before his 3 months to be brought on by the company, since he was doing a great job, was reliable, showed a lot of potential and eagerness to be with the company and grow with the company. They started training him for a lead role,
Mm.
and also as a benefit to going through staffing companies. We do have different clients that we work with, of course. So if for any reason, the employee were to, let's say maybe they realize it's not a fit. We do have other clients that we can pivot them over to. So we have that flexibility to move them over without being a lot of wait time for the next opportunity. Because it could be a couple weeks, a couple months sometimes, depending where you're going into or what industry you're going into after that. But there's a lot of flexibility with us. And other stories is individuals being hired on before 3 months, or going into a quality role, or tech roles. We had somebody who was recently promoted for a service, or not a service technician, but a maintenance technician within one of our clients. Again, because they show a lot of potential, and it's a way to get your foot in the door with our clients. Again, based on what relationship we have with them, and it's kind of in your hands at that point.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I thank you for your participation, your information. Now we're going to open this up. Is anybody who's in this Zoom meeting would like to maybe unmute themselves and ask Flo a question directly that may not have been answered? We want your participation. If not, I have a lot more questions for you, but we want to give you guys, the job seekers, an opportunity to connect directly with this potential employer. So opening it up. You can throw your hand up and then directly ask the question.
Hello, Flo. Yeah, good to hear from you. I mean, I've actually worked for placement agencies as a temporary worker in the past. I kind of like that now at this stage in my career, where I like to move around and try to find something a little bit more flexible. I used to be, or I am, mechanical design engineer. So companies that make products, and you need engineering drawings and blueprints and things like that. But so I'm trying to have a lot of those skills. I mean, people talk about email and Excel and whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what else I can do, to keep things interesting, and maybe still use some of my skills, but where I'm not maybe commuting very far and things like that. So, because I got knocked out because of the COVID crisis. What are your feelings about that? A person who's going to maybe work another 3 or 4 years?
Well, it obviously, you mentioned locations, so I'm not sure where you are, but I'm assuming that you're asking feedback as to what industries to target, or what kind of roles to target in your situation.
Yeah, what type of roles? I mean, I've been submitting my resume to a lot of contract houses, because engineering departments get overloaded, and they just need somebody who knows, how to do the basic work and can just step in. And I kind of like that. A nice thing about being a temp worker is you can provide a service, and you don't have to worry about the company dynamics. You can come in and do your job. And so, that's a nice thing about contracting too. And I get the impression that Eastridge Workforce, are you a temporary agency, or do you place people full time?
We have full time as well. So we do have so kind of piggyback on that a little bit. We do have temp to hire roles, which is what we were just talking about right now. But we do also have other, like I said, we have other divisions. So we do have direct hire roles and contract roles for higher level positions, such as engineering. At this moment right now, I don't have anything immediate that I see on my end, but we do have other coworkers that I can reach out to So if you were to, obviously I'd have to see a resume and pivot your resume over to clients that we have and see if they have a need that we don't currently see on the job boards. Because sometimes they don't always post them on their job boards, to be honest. And sometimes they don't know they don't even have that need or that support. So we have someone who actually specializes in getting us new service, and it's an internal employee who maybe someone in your situation that is looking for contract work like that can kind of be your, I guess say, kind of a promoter, and they'll take your resume around to different clients and see, if they'd be interested in bringing you on. So they'd be doing a search for you.
So you specifically, where's your office located?
Our main office is located in Marlboro, but we cover, all areas down to Taunton, all the way up to Newburyport. So we really cover all areas of more towards Worcester and towards Boston. And west of Worcester, we don't go that far, but anything from Worcester and this direction between Taunton and Newburyport, we cover.
Right, and this workforce office that's hosting this remake, is it a specific office?
Oh.
Yes, my specific office is obviously the Marlboro location.
Yeah. So the host of the event, so Remake 4.0, it's mass hire. So we have one of our offices is in Worcester, and I'm out of the office up here in Leominster.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I'm right here in Leominster myself. So I noticed AIS is on the list at they're the biggest employer in Massachusetts right now. Anyway, sort of the new Foster Grant. Although I'm dating myself when I say Foster Grant. Well, thank you very much, Flo.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Is that funny, Elizabeth?
Is there any other questions that anybody else might want to ask? Because I have more questions, but I want to give you an opportunity to engage with this potential employer. All right. No other questions. I'll ask some more, Flo. So for the opportunities that exist with all of your other partners, could you kind of just give like a range? What are some I know that because there's so many different employers that you're working with in so many different positions, what's like a range for pay would be, some of the entry level stuff? Like, how does that work out?
For more entry level roles, and this is not having any experience, of course, that could be anywhere from $14 to, I'd say, $17 an hour. Now, if we do have experience, that goes much higher, up to 23, 24. We do get positions that are also as technician roles as well, for example, and those pay a lot more. But, that's kind of the range that you would expect with us. And of course, now, above that, we do have, again, other divisions that do more high-level engineering roles, and of course, that's much higher than that, of course. So
yeah, awesome. Next question, to kind of piggybacking off of that. So with different positions and different pay, just talking about like different shifts. I know that some places have 8, 12. Mm-hmm. What are the kind of, how do a lot of the companies that you're working with, how are their shifts staggered?
We pretty much have all of the shifts. You could say the standard shifts, which is the 8-hour schedules, first shift, second shift, third shifts. Those can tend to be, now give or take an hour or two, or an hour depending which client it is and which location it's at, but it's 7 to 3:30, 3 to 11:30, or 11 to 7:30. And also, we do also have 12-hour shifts. Some of our biggest clients do have those schedules, and it's a 12-hour rotating schedule. So it'd be either 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the day schedules. the night schedules would be either 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. or 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And it's a rotating schedule, meaning that week 1 you'd be working 3 days, week 2 you'd be working 4 days, and it would just repeat over and over again, 3, 4, 3, 4. So we would write a schedule so you know exactly which days you're working each week. But eventually you won't even schedule because you already know it's the same days, repeating every 2 weeks. So those are the main schedules that we have.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a whole diverse range of schedules and opportunities. And I do know for some people, they enjoy those 3 and 4 type of, bouncing back and forth. That works for lots of people. Trying to think, anything else before we close out? One more quick question for you, Flo. For those people who are here, what would be your last little invite to them to apply with you?
So obviously there's a lot of staffing companies out there, I'd say. And with us, we obviously, can get you, if you don't have the experience, we can get you your foot in the door through the relationship we have with our clients and the program that we have. But also, we have flexibility to, at least one of our bigger locations, if they're interested in seeing what med device is all about, if they've never done it before, to do a site tour. That'd be a one-on-one session, of course, because we don't want to bring large groups, but for them to see what the work looks like, the type of facilities we work with, I think be very impressed. And if that's just what you'd want to do and see, we don't have to schedule an application or anything. We just want to come and check it out. I'm open to that. We're flexible for that, to, invite someone to see what the work is. Because a lot of people sometimes think of manufacturing, it's dirty, or it's the old school type of I Love Lucy kind of thing. It's very different. So I invite, we have that flexibility, so I invite anybody to just reach out and I give them a one-on-one tour and see what it's all about.
You're right. Manufacturing from back then, for I Love Lucy, to today is very different. Your companies and your people you're working with are making medical devices. They're working in sterile environments, clean rooms, white gowns and everything like that. It is not what it used to be. We're lots of high-tech things, and we're really advancing. And one of the reasons why I'm so happy to be working with you guys at Eastridge is because of the access to all of these great employers that you have and the level of professionalism that you take. And so my little bit of encouragement for everyone here that's on is to take a look at what Eastridge has to offer. Take a look at their positions, and it doesn't hurt to send out your application to them, because they might not have something that it's like immediately now in your niche, but they might have stuff in the future, or they might have other opportunities that they don't have posted today, but they're out there with another division of Eastridge. So that's my little spiel for them. I'm going to be closing out the meeting unless there's one more question, and I'll be back on to host another Zoom breakout session at 2:00. And that company is going to be called Highline Aftermarkets. So another great manufacturer right here from Leominster. So, all right. We have one question that came through. So what about any query issues? Anything that has query issues? Any obstacles like that? How do you deal with that, Flo?
You'd have to kind of forgive me here. Query. What are you referring to? Query issues.
So let's, as a person fills an application and you ask a certain thing, it's like a section that says any type of record or court involvement or things like that.
With our clients, we take it a case by case situation. We go through an education process. So depending on, it's a lot of factors involved, but depending on the role you're applying for and depending on what you have, it may not affect the role at all, and it's not an issue. Now, of course, we'd have to run the check and once the results come back, we can get kind of evaluate from there once we know what the results are. But we don't turn people away, because it's based on the job that you're doing. So the cases you may have may not have any impact on that. So it should still be fine. So we encourage people to still apply, and we can go through that process.
Good. Thank you very much. And that was a great question. Thank you.
So I guess somebody had a question about high school, I believe.
Says, thanks. This is great to hear. Hold on, let me go to the chat. Asking about part-time jobs.
So with the high school students, as long as they're 18, because of our program we have that vets, they don't have to have any experience at all. As long as they have the eagerness and want to do the work, we'll put them through that process, and we can put them to work as long as they're 18. We definitely have no problem with that. Again, because of the program that we have. And part-time, we do have specifically one of the clients that I handle. We do have part-time, but it's more of 12 hours schedules, but you get to pick the day that you want to work. So we're flexible. So if you can only do work on the weekends, 12-hour days, Saturday, Sunday, we have flexibility for that as well. So if you're looking for part-time, definitely reach out. We can help you out.
These are all great questions. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. If not, I'm going to be closing down this meeting. I just want to say thank you, guys. Look forward to hearing all the success stories from you guys. Hopefully you guys land a great job, and hope to maybe see you on the next breakout session that I'll be hosting. We will have one starting at 1 o'clock and then another one at 2 o'clock. So thank you very much. And thank you, Flo, and thank you for all you guys do.
Thank you very much, Florencio, right?
Yes, perfect pronunciation.
Thank you.
I'm Uruguayan, so I can do Latino.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.